Let's talk about weird rules for a second. The Ducks have agreed to an extension with Silfverberg. However, and that got announced by Bob McKenzie, also announced it's 5 years. I believe he said $5.25 million a year, but they can't announce it. They can't make it official because of the tagging rule. A team will likely have to wait until after February 25th to sign the 28-year-old due to a cap issues. Both sides closing on an extension. This is an article from TSN earlier before it was made officially unofficial because they can't announce it. It doesn't seem possible to consider trading him at this point. They've gone well down the road getting him extended. It's not quite finished yet. Blah, blah, blah. They've had over 100 roster moves this season alone, which eats up tagging space. They're over the cap, so you'd have to subtract that from your tagging space. You've got Patrick Eaves on waivers. If he gets claimed, which of course we know he didn't, then that might free up things a bit for the Ducks. Otherwise, they're likely going to have to wait until after March 1st when every team gets a 10% bump in the tagging space. So what's tagging space? All right. The tagging rule states a team can't spend more on a future payroll than they currently have on their own, and teams lose space by going over the cap in the current year. So the Ducks are currently above the cap. And what happens? They lose cap space next year. Using space from having Kasha on long-term injured reserve, the Ducks currently have a salary of $80.61 million this year, 1.16 over the $79.5 million cap. The team already has $72.85 million committed in salary for next season, leaving them with $6.65 million in space minus the overage for this year and transaction costs. Isn't this fun? Yes, this is fun. So, $6.65 million minus $1.16 million. Yeah. And then it's a $5.25 million cap hit. The interesting thing to me, okay, as somebody who's neutral with the Ducks right now, is they have $72.85 million tied up in cap space next year. There's not a lot of room for improvement there. There's a lot of iffy contracts there. So yeah, Eaves, of course, didn't get claimed. Silfverberg was on a cap hit of $3.75 million. Now that's going to be $5.25 million. So it is an extension for, and he has 16 goals and 8 assists, 24 points in 51 games. So yeah, cap hit of $5.25 million for the next 5 years. You know, and I like Silfverberg. I don't know. I don't know if I like this contract. I'm torn on this because, you know, I like the player, but $5.25 million on a team that's not in a great position with the cap. Now, where is it? Anaheim. They've got to be up at the top then. They're right underneath Detroit. Yeah. Projected cap space, and this is because of the fact that they have Kasha on injured reserve right now, $55,000. They currently have $55,000 in cap space, according to Cap Friendly. They've used $80.4 million of cap. Long-term injured reserve used $908K. So that gets them under. That's insane. They're right at it, and they're going to be right at it for next year. You've got Corey Perry at $8.6 million next year. Getzlaff $8.25 million. Kessler's at $6.88 million. Those contracts go on for a while yet. Henrique, his extension kicks in July for $5.83 million a year. They're paying Raquel $3.79 million, which is not a bad contract. Silfverberg, of course, now is going to be making $5.25 million. Who else do they have that's expiring? Gibbons is expiring. Well, that's not going to save them a lot. It saves them $1 million. Fowler, Lindholm, Manson, and Montour are all extended. Montour is going to be interesting next summer because he's at $3.39 million. He's a restricted free agent the summer of 2020, which is that potential lockout, right? Delzato, Walensky, and Megna are all unrestricted free agents. That's not going to be a big deal for them. Miller, of course, is a UFA this summer. This is likely his last year. And who else do they have currently? Gibson, of course, is on the IR. His $6.4 million extension kicks in this coming summer. And Chad Johnson's UFA. He won't be sticking around anyways. It's an interesting dilemma that Anaheim finds themselves in. So I guess they decided that keeping Silfverberg around was worth the $5.25 million. I'm not going to deny that on a team that's starved for goals, the potential with Silfverberg to put up 30 goals in a season is tantalizing. I just wonder, with the amount of cap they've spent, how do you improve this? Like, if the Ducks, again, and I guess, you have Sam Steele, you have Max Jones, you have a number of young prospects, but I just wonder when I look at the picture with the Ducks, like, the ability to improve this, if the kids struggle, it doesn't get better. It's an interesting situation they find themselves in. I'm honestly kind of surprised they didn't move Silfverberg, but we may look at them this summer and they may call Arizona and say, look, we've got a contract here we want to unload, and we'll see if Arizona's a taker on that. Maybe Florida be a taker. Although Florida seems to be willing to go all in on the idea of bringing in Bobrovsky, bringing in Panarin, spending a lot of money, which Florida doesn't normally do. So let me know what you guys think. What is going to be the strategy for Bob Murray going forward? Now that he's got Silfverberg re-signed, where does he go from there? What are Anaheim going to do from now until the deadline? Like I've just gone through, they don't really have cap space. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they do now and then what they do in the next season as well. Let me know your thoughts. Interested to know. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And yes, the third period of the Boston-Vegas game is on now. It's a tight, close game. And the review for tonight's games will be done tonight. And the preview for tomorrow's as well, because Thursday's a busy day. So there you go. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And yeah, the tagging thing, I've got to be honest, I read it off my phone because that throws me off too. That's really weird. It is not something we hear a lot about. It's not something that gets brought up a lot. So yeah, I figured I'd read it from there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.